Okay, date 142. Let's do this. For those of you that have not seen the latest podcast episode that we just dropped, check it out on youtube.com/ at Kent underscore HE. You'll see the podcast I just did with Tyler. And Tyler dropped so many nuggets, so many gems, and we went through all the details from what neighborhoods to look for, how much does each type of renovation actually cost in the Kansas City market, as in his world, and even talking a little bit about his history and his work experience, having done over 400 renovations and his past experience working as a Section 8 investor. So I think all of this is going to be really, really, really valuable to all of you. And just remember, this is why I'm building this community. It's to share resources with all of you that I have found personally myself, and well, trying to make it a little bit less scary for everybody. Because I know when I first started, I didn't know whether or not I was getting quoted the right prices. I didn't know how to filter and look for the right contractors, what questions to ask the contractor, and more importantly, what will they deliver. So obviously, I have not used Tyler personally for any of my renovations. So full disclaimer, you have to do your own due diligence. But at least you know where to start. At least you know what kind of questions to ask. So please don't burn me if you ever get stuck with a contractor because past performance is not indicative of any future results, right? So make sure you do due diligence. But today, we're just going to keep on trucking along and looking at some more deals. So today's day 142. Let's analyze another deal together. So I saw this property for under 250 grand. So it caught my eye. And I said, okay, well, this is on 8029 West 93rd Street in Overland Park. Four bed, 2.5 bath, 1728 square feet. I like that there's a garage, so maybe I can convert it into a fifth bedroom. Who knows, right? So as I look at this property, it's like a split level floor plan. Project is cosmetic, paint and flooring. Close up that, close up that thing. This kitchen's fine. You probably just replace the backsplash, but you can probably just repaint the kitchen and everything. But you do want to replace the flooring. That's a very, very old style. This bathroom, okay. Okay, there's some flooring here, so you probably just refinish that. So you don't need to do replace. I'll probably just redo this entire bathroom right here because you can see here. So it's two bathroom remodels to make it super nice. Refinishing the floor and everything. There's another bathroom. Yeah, paint the entire place. I'm not sure what's going on with this basement, or that's the garage potentially. All right, so let's kind of renovate as is. All right, let's do a quick street view. Not seeing anything that's standing out as like a bad neighborhood. And from what I understand, Overland Park is in general a pretty decent neighborhood, pretty low crime. So it looks pretty suburban to me. We can always double check the crime score here. Let's see. Let's plug in the address right here. Go into the neighborhood section, topapp.com, and then you'll see what the crime score is. This is a 120. Okay, slightly above average. Not the worst, but slightly above average. Just pay attention to this. And this is probably why you need someone with local knowledge in this area. All right. Next things next thing up, we're gonna go and look at the rent. So if you guys remember, I posted this into our affordable housing and real estate investing community. We got the payment standards for Johnson County, and just remember this includes the rent and the utility allowance. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the market rent. So we're gonna go to owners, market rent estimator, plug in the address, put in the four bedroom count. And the number that's going to matter the most is this number on the far right, which says it is 2,363. So when you think about rent reasonableness test, if the market rent 2063 for a four bedroom is above the four bedroom payment standard for 2317, chances are you're going to be able to get the full max payment standard if you are including utilities. Big if, right? So just remember, if you do want to charge the full payment standard, you got to have um, the utilities included if you're trying to get 2317. Otherwise, in the past, we already got the HUD FMR. And for those of you that have not and do not know what the HUD FMR is, one second, let me make sure I write down the numbers for the fifth bedroom. I always try to look at one bedroom above what it is. If there's a garage, so that I know that, hey, what rents can I potentially command if I convert that garage into additional bedroom, as an example. So 2618, that's good to know. I've written down all these rents in my spreadsheet down here. So I got my rents for a 4 bedroom, and then I got my rents for a 5 bedroom right here. So I can always refer them back to it. My HUD SAFMR, I'm going to go grab the ones for this zip code specifically. So if you Google HUD FMR, you will be able to find that the small area FMRs is right over here. Look up 2024 FMRs. We're going to be in Kansas because we're on the Kansas line. In Johnson County, this zip code is 66212. 66212, and you'll see the FMRs. So the FMR is 2230 for a that 1900 for a 3 bedroom. 2 bedrooms 1450. 1270 for a 1, and 1140 for a 2. So that gives me right there. And this is the HUD FMR for 66212. 66212. So I know that is down. My partners understand pretty well how to underwrite. So that's why I note down all this stuff so that they know exactly where the numbers came from. All right, let's go ahead and estimate our underwriting. So 235,000, let's plug that in. 235 is the purchase price. For renovations, let's go ahead and plug this in. 1728 square feet. So I'm gonna assume that there's at least $1,500 of roof repairs because they just say this is a, you can call it an investor special. Yeah, investor special. So they always call it. Oh, look. Oh, actually, it's chances are they probably reviewed their best offer yesterday. So, hey, we'll see if it closes. If not, we'll come back to it. Painting exterior, nothing there. $500 to clean up the landscaping. We got 1728 at $3 a square foot to replace to repaint the house. We saw that there was carpet in one room. So I'm gonna assume this is a maybe 15 by 10, it's 150 square feet. And then I'm gonna replace it and refinish existing hardwood flooring. So it's gonna be 728 minus 150. So it's gonna be a little bit cheaper because I'm only refinishing the floor, not replacing it. So it's $4 a square foot, a little bit cheaper. For the kitchens, I'm going to slightly modify the kitchen here for about 10 grand. So it looks really, really brand new. I really want to force a lot of value into this area because this is a much more upscale area. I'm going to assume that I need to remodel 2 of the bathrooms, 2 microwaves. Actually, I don't need any more kitchen renovations because I'm assuming that's all included in my $10,000 rehab. At 2 bathroom rehabs at about 8 grand. But if you saw that from my interview with Tyler, he said it was 7,000. So I'll just modify it to 7 grand because I always put in an additional 20% contingency anyway. So I'm gonna lower it based on what he told me. I don't need to replace the toilets here because we're already doing the full remodels. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna put in the water heater because I'm assuming that needs to get replaced and some money for set for termite issues. So that's gonna be a 50 grand rehab on this property. Okay, 50 grand rehab. That's gonna be pretty close. Shouldn't be that far off. All right, if I'm able to get, let's just use the rent that I'm able to get. Let's just use 2230 as my FMR. 2230 because that's still lower than the market rents. However, I gotta be really careful because they might lower this a little bit further if this number includes utilities. So 2317, I'm only saying it's like $90 for utilities. Chances are I'm gonna lower it by another $100. Let's do 2100 just to be a little bit more conservative and give us a little bit more upside. So for this property, let's do 25% down at 8.5% interest rate. What's my property taxes? I'm going to put it right here, 252. 252. And then my homeowner insurance is 153. 153. We'll multiply that by 1.2 because usually the insurance premium here is a little bit cheaper because it's assuming you're living there as a primary residence versus a investment property. So 10% is my maintenance. I got, come on, this is 10% just because it's a nicer neighborhood. 10% for property management, and I got 5% for vacancy. All right, 2,100 bucks, 8% interest rate at 25% down. My finance amount is going to equals to my asking price subtracted by the selling price. And that's how I'll plug it in. And right now, as is, this property assuming 2.5% closing costs, this property assuming the rent was 2,100. My cash flow per month is going to be minus 153. Cash and cash return is minus 1.6% return. I was assuming a purchase price of $235,000 and my rehab was $51,000. 25%, 8% down payment. So that's not a deal. What would make it a deal if my rent can stay consistently at 2,100? Well, why don't I lower this to 150, 120, 100? Because the rehab is so high, I'll have to pay 90. Yeah, I'll have to pay 90 grand for this property for this to make it worth a while my time, assuming everything else is constant, right? So if my rehab is $51,000, well, assuming 25%, 8% interest rate, that's what I would be offering on this property. Now, what if 644 and that was a 10.2% return? Now, what if I got more rents? What if I converted the additional garage into a bedroom? Well, max, according to Tyler, is probably closer to 15 grand. So I'm going to add $15,000 to the rehab, but I'm going to assume I can get 5 bedrooms on this property. And when I get 5 bedrooms, well, what if I'm able to get, let's see, how much should it go up from 3 to 4? 343. So if 26 plus 343, what if I'm able to get close to 2660 for my payment standards, assuming the rate of change is still the same? Probably have to call Johnson County and figure out whether that's worth it. But all I'm doing here is figuring out when that's worth my time, right? Bedroom count. Bed number. This is 4, and this is 5. At 5 bedroom, if I'm able to get, let's see, 2,500. Well, let's do 2,450. Feel a little bit more conservative. 2,450. And who knows? It might even be lower because they might not support the 5 bedrooms. Never know. So 2,450 if my rent. What am I willing to pay for the property now? Assuming my rehab went up by 15 grand. 125. Yeah, 120. 115. 110. So I'm willing to pay up to 110, which is 20 grand more because I'm paying an extra 15 grand to get to $66,000 rehab, 25% down, 8% interest rate. And that still works because it's a 9.9% cash and cash return now. 9.9. And my cash flow per month is 796. Hopefully this helps you all decide what set of terms will make this a deal, quote unquote. At 110, that probably won't work. Well, what if I'm able to get it on a creative deal? Well, probably doesn't look like it because there seems to be a lot of activity, but let's go up and look up the underlying loan if there is any. So there was a loan here. I'm on PropStream, and when you click on details, after looking at the property address in the mortgage and transaction history section, you'll see that this home has the underlying loan for 128 at 5.67%. That started 2005. That's a long time ago, 20 years ago. So this is 3/15/2005. Wow, I'm surprised I never refinance it. And this was 5.67, 5.625. And the loan amount was 128. So there's a loan balance of 72 grand. So if I assume that my asking price is going to be equals to asking price, subtract the down payment, subtract the existing loan balance for 72 grand, I would have the seller finance their equity portion, which is about 10.5K for a certain number. And let me put back in the original purchase price of $235,000, $235,500. So you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, I'll give you price that you're looking for. You give me the terms I'm looking for. So what set of terms will make this a deal? Well, what if I lower the equity portion to 0%? It's still not a deal. What if I lowered my down payment to 10%? Still not a deal. You should still borrow a significant amount. Taxes is still a little too high. My rehab is still really high. So there's really no set of terms creatively that would make it a deal, assuming my only exit strategy is Section 8. Yeah. Because as you lower down payment, you just increase your monthly payment there. So it doesn't really work at the end of the day. So there's no creative deal that really works out in my favor, assuming the purchase price is 235,000 because of how high the rehab was. Now, what if I half that amount? What if it's let's do subtract 33,000? What if I overestimated my rehab and someone walked and said, "Oh yeah, this could be done in 33 grand." Still cannot be a deal creatively, even with the 5% down and the rest finance is 0%. The price is too high. So that's how I decided. If you think this is an area of high appreciation, which it sounds like it's a very popular area, you might say, "Hey, I'm okay breaking even on this deal." I'm okay breaking even on the deal as long as I get some appreciation. That's your personal choice. However, I'm just showing you how I think about the deals and how you can manipulate the scenarios to fit your own personal criteria. You have to decide because this is not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments at all. You are going to be the person that's going to have to decide what is my return criteria. What market do I want to be in? Do I want to be in good school districts? Do I care more about cash on cash return? Right? Sometimes folks say, well, really, really wealthy people make all the money from appreciation. I don't care about cash flow because appreciation is where you really, really create long term wealth. As long as I break even on cash flow with really, really good conservative assumptions, maybe I'm okay with that. And that's going to be dependent on you, your partners, and all those choices. So, this is the uncool part about real estate, right? In order for us to buy 100 properties, chances are you probably have to analyze 1,000 properties. And today, hopefully, we move forward together a little bit better. Took another step. I was very fortunate to have been referred a contractor that came onto the podcast who has had Section 8 inspections experience. And he came on and gave a lot of information away for free. And I really hope this shows off you what an abundance mindset looks like. This is how you provide value to other people. You have to learn how to bring value to other folks for them to trust you, to believe in you. Trust is earned. And today, what we have done is we try to make it a little bit less scary for you when you're investing out of state. And sometimes when you invest out of state, you're like, oh, who am I? Who on earth? How on earth am I going to find this person? Well, at least you have one person to look at now, at least one. And just do your own due diligence. Try to figure out whether or not that person is right for you. And we'll keep on doing it together. All right. Have an amazing day. Hope you spend some quality time with your family and friends today during this holiday weekend. I'm still working. It's day 142, 42. So stay consistent.